CTV Calgary. Local breaking news.
Good afternoon. A Calgary man is accused of filming young girls and women at a local mall without their consent. Jeffrey Robert Williamson is facing a number of charges, including voyeurism, and it's not the first time he's accused of the crime. The latest incident happened at South Centre on June 24th. Police spoke to a witness who said a man was using a cell phone to film females. Officers reviewed CCTV to identify a suspect and arrested him at a home in the southeast. Williamson previously served 2 years in prison on voyeurism and child pornography charges in 2018. A public hearing continues today over a controversial inner-city redevelopment in Hillhurst. The plan is to build a 269-unit apartment complex at the former CBC building site on Westmount Boulevard. Area residents are concerned about increased traffic, parking, and building height, but the biggest worry is the creosote-contaminated soil they say would be disturbed during construction and could be harmful to people. A 3-year-old provincial report found the site's contamination is mostly confined to the south portion of the lot and wouldn't pose a risk through inhalation. The public hearing resumes this afternoon. A proposal to redesignate land for a large development in Marda Loop is going ahead. The plan for a 2-acre parcel of land includes 2 high-rise and 2 mid-rise towers to be built between 33rd and 34th Avenues. The city received 136 letters against the proposal and 3 in favor. Council voted 13-1 in support of the land use change. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith and her hand-picked Alberta Next panel will be in the Edmonton area tonight after their first event last night in Red Deer. Most attendees seemed receptive to ideas aimed at the province declaring independence, pulling out of the Canada Pension Plan, and creating its own provincial police force to replace the RCMP. Smith has said she believes in a sovereign Alberta within a united Canada. The panel's findings will form the basis of referendum questions posed to Albertans next year. The Alberta NDP is also hosting its own series of town halls starting in mid-August. Prime Minister Mark Carney is making changes meant to help Canada's steel industry.
Over time, we become too dependent on the United States as our biggest customer, with more than 90% of our steel exports going south of the border. So moving forward, we must diversify our trade relationships. And above all, we must rely more on Canadian steel for Canadian projects. And those shifts start today.
Carney made the announcement at a steel plant in Hamilton today. 25% tariffs will be imposed on all non-U.S. countries for steel melted and poured in China. And Canadian steel will be prioritized for projects in Canada. Canada and the U.S. are still trying to negotiate a new trade deal. Starting today, Calgary Transit users must scan their mobile tickets before they board a C train. This aligns with the current requirement to scan mobile tickets while boarding buses. Calgary Transit found about 46% of adults and 50% of youth were not using their tickets correctly. About 2% of riders don't buy any transit tickets, costing the city about $2 million a year. A new exhibit opened this morning at the National Music Centre. Timeless, 100 Years of Oscar Peterson commemorates the jazz pianist, composer, and humanitarian's life and work. He was the first artist inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame back in 1978 and considered one of the greatest jazz pianists of all time. Everything in the exhibit has been loaned or donated from the Oscar Peterson estate.
He released dozens and dozens of albums, covering standards, recording his own compositions. I mean, he did it all. You know, he really did it all, and I think as, musicians and creators, I think he will inspire creators in all fields.
The Oscar Peterson exhibit will be at the National Music Centre until July 2026. The Calgary Flames have revealed their regular season schedule. Forward Ryan Lomberg revealing the schedule in his best Rambo impression. The Flames will start the season in Edmonton October 8th for the first of 4 matchups against their provincial rivals. Their home opener is October 11th against St. Louis. Tickets go on sale August 29th. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more on the top stories coming up on CTV News at 5 and 6 or anytime online at ctvnews.ca/Calgary.